Welcome. My name is Andreas. I have the pleasure to be here with Yannis Bougos. Yannis, can you stand up for a second? He's over there. It's my Greek colleague. And I have to continue in English as well. I'm sorry for this. I have the pleasure to introduce you Infypower, which stands for Innovation for Your Power. It's one of those companies which comes from Shenzhen, this Great Bay Area on the opposite side of Hong Kong, which is this area where a lot of electric mobility companies those days, charger companies, battery companies, high-tech companies, and so forth are coming from. And let's go to the next slide. And the mission of Infypower is basically to be a leading EV charging and energy storage provider and empowering the DC future. That's the company vision or the reason to be of this company as a main, let's say, claim of this big why of the company. Short sales pitch of Infypower. What is the company all about? I'm personally from Germany, from Munich. I would say it's a good mid-size German so-called Mittelstand company. It's a rather smaller company of around 2,000 employees. So it's not one of these big Chinese giants you might know from the industry, from the battery industry or from the EV charger industry. It has been founded in 2014 in Shenzhen. Turnover, it's around 350 million right now. It's a so-called unicorn. So it used to be a startup. Now it's a unicorn with a market cap of 1 billion euro. And the main core technology, and we heard about a little bit about this earlier right now, is AC-DC conversion technology. Is so-called power modules, bidirectional, unidirectional, liquid-cooled, and air-cooled power modules. Those components you need in the EV chargers, in the fast chargers, and in BESS storage. So this is just where we are active. We have a manufacturing site here in Athens as well, where we're producing our EV chargers, and Yannis is very active in this. And this is the team here from Greece. The company, our main partner here in Greece is B Square Power, for producing basically and manufacturing the DC fast chargers, starting from 160 kV up to 600, 700 kV right now. It's an ISO certified compliant manufacturing site here in Greece. And the main reason, I will talk to you about a little bit later, why we have this implemented in Greece as well are different ones, but let me give you a short introduction. This is the main core slide I very much like of the company presentation, because it shows you all these different power modules, conversion components, if you want, to transfer DC to AC and vice versa, and liquid cooled and air cooled. And Infypower has been one of the first companies already 10 years ago which were producing and developing liquid cooled power modules. And when I ask our customers why you work together with Infypower, they basically tell me, okay, there hasn't been so many companies producing liquid cooled power modules, and that's the main story. And going from this component business, the company basically developed from the components to the EV chargers here, and on the middle, and the battery storage, which is the business I'm heading here in Europe. Battery storage with cells inside from CATL, CATL, which is one of the main investors, and which is one of our main suppliers as well for battery storage. Without going too much into details or into techniques, this is one of the main battery units here. It's a so-called LFP battery technology. It's a 280 kilowatt-hour system. We are supplying and selling to different CPOs here in Europe, or to different CNI applications and companies here in Europe. And you can either have it with as a so-called 1C or 0.5C solution, so rather more faster solution or a slower solution, depending on how much power you need in your network. And it looks like this internally. So what is the main differentiator, and if you are in the industry, if you work in the electric mobility industry, in the EV industry, you might know that there are many different players already active on the horizon who are manufacturing EV chargers and who are manufacturing BESS solutions as well. So the main differentiator from Infypower versus some other companies is that the power modules in these units and the battery packs are developed in-house. So it's not only assembling, it's our own R&D, which is a very R&D-driven company, and the cells are basically coming from cattle. This is some more details. I will skip this. I will rather go quickly. But you see the cells here on the left-hand side here, and we have our own battery management system, which is a core component as well to make sure that the batteries are working fine. Then there are different certifications, different norms you should fulfill. When you talk to a battery supplier those days, you should ask him for some fire safety propagations, for example, like one is very important one, which is UL 9540A, to make sure the battery is not burning. That's a very important one. And there are different other battery storage solutions we are manufacturing and selling those days, very much for backup solutions for CPOs, very much for energy trading applications in Europe. So for different applications. And the battery those days is no more only for storing energy. It's really like I would call it like a Swiss knife, which you can use for many applications, and therefore we have developed different off-grid, on-grid solutions, and it all starts with 220 kilowatt hours those days. This is the charger portfolio from Infypower with our own core component there. It all starts with 100 kV, only DC chargers, so no AC chargers, up to 400 kV right now, which we are producing which we just started to produce in here, and then we are having so-called V2G chargers as well, and V2 home chargers, which is much more commonly used already in Asia, in China, in Korea, in Japan. Then here in Europe, where it's a little bit more complicated, feeding energy back to the grid than in Asia. But this is a common topic, which is more and more coming as well. As said, only high power solutions, liquid-cooled modules in there. And now I would like to make a very short shift away from a company pitch presentation or away from some product sheets here, some history. Around 130 years ago, there was a so-called fight between two gentlemen in the USA, and there was the New York Times those days published a nice image, they said there's a gentleman called Nikola Tesla and Thomas Edison, and there was a businessman called George Westinghouse, and those guys basically fought, had a big war. What is better, AC or DC? And at the time, those days, like a little bit more than 130 years ago, basically AC made the race. Why? Because you can transport it better than for longer distances than DC. Why I'm showing you this? Because we are convinced as a company that those days, as there are more and more microgrids, more and more renewables, more and more European Green Deals, renewable energy installed, solar energy, batteries, consumer devices, laptops, and so forth. And all those devices basically are running on DC. So we personally think, and I personally think as well, that there's a strong shift to DC. And there are different associations, organizations as well on a European level, in some countries on a national level as well, to try to push this DC topic much more. Main reasons behind is because it's more efficient. When you talk to electricians, it's probably more efficient. You have less energy loose. It's more scalable. It's easier to scale, faster to scale, and at the end of the day, it's more flexible than AC installations. And therefore, we have developed our own so-called DC bus installation as a company, as Infypower. And again, I'm changing the topic a little bit. And when preparing this presentation, I was thinking a little bit if I should show you this slides or not. But this was just from the press I read some days ago, that Europe has a strong target of installing 3.5 million chargers those days. Until today, we have reached until 2030, I think, Until today, we have reached 26% out of this. And this comes from a Berlin-based monitor association, which is called Data Pulse. So basically, there's a strong gap still between what we are aiming for and what the target is in about nearly less than 5 years right now, and what the current installations look like those days. And therefore, there's a strong wave to go for. And I gave you some numbers. I brought you some numbers here from this association. On the right-hand column, this is it's the fast chargers which are installed per 100,000 heads in a country. So the right column is the most important one, I think. So in Norway, you have 138 fast chargers, faster than 150 kV. You can go, why Norway? Because it has been really pushed from a political movement, a lot of political laws there. You could deduct your tax from EVs and so forth. And if the main reason I was thinking, should I really show these slides here or not, is because if you go down, you see that Greece is on place number for fast chargers, only for DC fast chargers. Therefore, I was very happy when I learned to know that we have this joint venture with B Square Power here in Athens to produce fast chargers quicker than or faster than 150 kV. So that's Greece in here. Nevertheless, that's how it looks like today for fast chargers. Okay, some references. Here you have a picture of one of the biggest charging points in Europe as well, which is next to Munich, between Munich and Augsburg. It's a nicely designed fast charging infrastructure where all the German car manufacturers like Porsche, Audi or Mercedes are coming to test their new cars, because it's well situated in the middle of Stuttgart, Ingolstadt and Munich. And the main components for this park basically came from Infypower. I have brought you some other pictures about different installations, chargers and BESS. As said, those BESS units here on the right-hand side, which is in this case for a French charge point operator, is this 280 kilowatt-hour solution I showed you later on. They are starting to trade with this as well. They're using it as a buffering solution, and they're using it because very often it takes a long time to get this grid connection, and it can be much faster in the deployment of the dispensers and chargers if they have BESS next to it installed. Some more pictures of the battery storage installations. Again, this is a kind of nicer. I like it because it's a nicer designed fast charging installation here as well in Augsburg, next to Munich. Some bigger pictures from Asia, from bigger installations, 1.5 or 2 megawatt installations, where you can see that you can put those battery storage units in parallel. In Austria, in Switzerland, in Hungary, some in Germany, and in Romania, some chargers, and some pictures from China, how it looks like. In Israel, again in China, and So as you can see, there's a lot of going on in China. They're much more farther developed, and in Central Asia, Kazakhstan, in America. So we're very much active as well in the electric bus charging topic, fleet charging topic for electric buses, which is coming more and more as well in Europe and in V2G. And here you see our V2G chargers, which are installed in a bus depot. And some more pictures, what it looks like. I will quickly go over South America, Chile, some installations, Italy. I haven't seen so many from Greece here. I'm sorry for this at the moment. What's going on? Right. That's my last slide. Thank you very much.